Welcome to Everybody Math. In this video, we're going to show you how to set up your classroom. We'll show you how to create your student accounts, then we'll talk about the data you'll have available on your dashboard. Let's start by going to everybodymath.com. Your first step will be to set up your own account. If you already have an account, you can just sign in. To set up a new account, click on Sign Up. Choose I am older than 13 and choose Teacher, then fill in each field. The username you choose does not need to be unique. It is just the name that will display on screen when you are using Everybody Math. Your password needs to be at least 6 characters long. Read the end user license agreement. Then check the box to show that you agree. Now click Sign Up and your teacher account will be created. After Everybody Math sets up your account, you'll see your home screen. Since you don't have any students yet, your only option on the home screen is to add students. Select I want to add a whole class of students at once. Click the words This File to download the empty spreadsheet. Save the empty spreadsheet at a convenient place on your computer, then open it up. Now you're going to enter the user information for each of your students. For the student ID, use the ID assigned to the student by your institution. This will make it easier to match up your students' progress in Everybody Math with your gradebook. The display name does not need to be unique. It is the name that will appear on the student's screen when they are using Everybody Math. Each student needs a unique email because that is what they will be using to log in. The passwords need to be at least 6 characters long. First name and last name are not required, but will only be used to help you identify students in the reports that Everybody Math creates for you. These other columns are optional for your convenience. Once you've got this table filled in, export it as a CSV file. This is the only way Everybody Math can read it. Now return to Everybody Math and select Choose a CSV file and select the file you just created. Now choose Import Class Information and import my students. Now your homepage shows some additional tabs. Daily Student Progress tells you which students have completed their practice today. Progress Summary shows you how your class is progressing as a whole on each of the operations. The Activity Calendar shows you when students last completed a complete practice. And Add Students gives you the option to add additional students later. On your My Class page, you'll be able to see how your students are progressing individually. When All Students is selected, you can see a summary of all of your students. The table will show the student's progress in the operation you select. Right now we've got multiplication showing, so we'll see how my students are doing in their multiplication. The ID and name columns help you identify your student. This column tells you whether a student has practiced today. The fluency tells you what percentage of multiplication math facts your students can answer fluently, meaning that they can answer correctly in less than 1 second, and they have been able to do so for at least 3 days in a row. The proving column also tells you about math facts that your students can answer fluently, but the proving facts have been learned within the last 3 days, so the student is still proving that they can remember these. In the day's practice column, you'll see when students practiced this week. In the column Trophies this week, shows the trophies that the students have earned just during their practices this week. Trophies aren't a good way to grade your students, so you should use consistent practice for that, but it lets you get an idea of whether they are making progress. Similarly, operations practice will show you which operations your students are practicing. They will make the most progress if they practice the same operations each day. Time on task tells you how much time your student has spent focused on their practice this week. On the other hand, total time tells you the total time they spent logged in for their practices while still working. If this number is much larger than time on task, then a student might not be staying focused. If you select a particular student, you'll be able to see the details of that specific student's progress. The fact grid shows how your student is doing on each math fact. Blue math facts are fluent and have been proven for at least 3 days. Purple facts are fluent, but they are still in the proving period. Pink facts are facts that the student can answer correctly given enough time, but not quite fluent. Facts that are the color white are facts that the students have not learned yet. The pie chart shows you what percentage of math facts are in each category. The progress over time chart shows you how their fluency has changed over time. You may want to set learning objectives to choose which math facts your students will learn next. You may also want to choose some specific settings that will help everybody math to adapt to individual needs or to the context of your classroom. We'll cover those in future videos.